You have a magic to-do list in your book for both men and women when it comes to the opposite sex that will help us truly understand what the other wants and needs. So you got to explain this. I am all ears.
Well, here, it's really simple. It's very easy to stimulate hormones. As I gave the simplest example, and when it comes to males, if they're threatened or stressed, there's going to be a stimulation, there's going to be a neurological response that creates an endocrine response, and therefore there's going to be that situation. But you got to remember, it can be used to good. I always tell ladies, I just think about this, okay? Ladies, if you understand male hormones, you can control every aspect of their life, and they'll love it. They'll absolutely love it.
What do you mean?
Okay, now think about this. And all the guys are like, Doc, you're selling me out. No, I'm not. Trust me, you're going to love it. Because here's what happens this. So, for example, ladies, let me give you a little trick here. Okay, to stimulate his hormones, do you understand? Men's hormones are stimulated much different than women. See, that's why when men do things to women and don't understand them, they do things that stimulate them. And the woman's like,
this does nothing for me.
And then guess what happens? Oh, but let's flip it around. Women, once again, they stimulate their hormones by certain ways. And so they'll do the same thing to a guy. And a guy's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, let me give you an example. Testosterone is a very confident, driven hormone. Okay. And that's why men and women have very different responses to confidence. Like today's world, if a man says he's confident, the world tries to beat him down. I'm like, no. You speak down to a guy, you'll lower his testosterone. But I want you to think about this. When a man, testosterone is very driven, that's why every man watching this right now, regardless of his age, guess what happens? He thinks he's incredibly awesome. We do.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
So here's what happens this. It's kind of funny. And that's why when a woman, once again, says, oh, honey, you're awesome. He's like, yeah, I know that. It's great. Tell me something I don't know. You saying? Now, because once again, so that's not speaking to, see, now watch this. I'm going to show you how estrogens work in a second. See, so talking with stuff that you would want to hear is different. But you know what's really funny? Here's what happens. Guys are very visual and very stimulatory by sight and actually by words. Okay? So what happens is this. Ladies, no joke. If you want to get to do anything you want, trust me, it's kind of cool. All you have to do is walk around in the morning, just whisper into his ears. Just whisper to him, say, honey, tonight is going to be a great night. What does he think about all day long? You. Do you understand that a male, once again, can only focus on one thing? Testosterone is a very laser-focused hormone. So that's why, ladies, if you get him to think about you, in a way that stimulates him, he'll never forget about you. And he could walk by another gorgeous woman and actually see her. It doesn't matter. Do you understand?
Wow.
But see, women today, once again, because I'm apologizing on this, but because of the concept of feminism and not speaking to a man or actually understand the man, we have to realize that testosterone is a very aggressive, confident-based hormone that way. And it's so easy for women to win with a man, vice versa. So when you stimulate a man's testosterone, he stays laser focused on you.
And so if he knows that he has something to look forward to because you've told him that you're going to have sex later that night, basically before that happens, you can be like, take out the trash. Can you help me with the dishes? And he's happy to help.
That's right. Because he wins in the end. And guys are all about winning. When he realizes he can't win with you, he'll find somebody else to win with.
Okay, so then what are the tips to how to get women to do what you want?
It's very simple. Okay, you guys, see, here's what happens. See, estrogens are very connecting hormones. So for example, how men speak to women is different things. So let's say, oh my goodness, let's say the guy's like, oh my goodness, Alex, speaking to me the way I want, does this. And a guy comes up to you and whispers in your ear tomorrow morning and says, honey, tonight is gonna be a good night. Alex doesn't come home that night. See, you get my point?
I'm dead. Yeah.
See? Now watch this. But here's what happens this. See, because you can't speak to a woman that way. I'm sorry, Hollywood, you lost your mind. Because they try to act this sexualization of women. It's not true. And it's hurting the majority of women. Because then women think that's the way they got to be. And for their biology, that's not true. That's not true. Do you understand? A healthy woman, by her biology, can only really have a sex drive maybe 2 weeks out of the month.
That is a massive bomb drop.
Based on their hormone. And that's if you're healthy. If you're stressed out, do you understand? Guess what? A guy's testosterone during stress, he could break his arm, he could cut his finger off, and later at night, he's like, hey, honey, want to have some sex? But a woman, guess what happens? Any kind of stress hits her, hormones drop, guess what happens? You know what I'm saying? But see, young men don't know this. And so now with a woman, it's kind of funny. You have to treat them very differently. And so here's what happens this. And then I realize it's kind of cool because speaking to women, they're very connected. Estrogens are very connective. Do you understand? And so then if you walk and speak to a woman, the way you speak back to the guy, it's not going to work. Do you understand? So it's kind of funny, but here's what happens. And I started to really think about this. And I started to go, okay, what's really connecting? What kind of words can you say to a woman? And there's more than words too. And so, but what kind of words can you say to a woman that's very connecting? And I realized it. And I figured it out. And it's universal for all women. If you walk up to a woman and say, hey, honey, tonight's going to be a good night, that's not connecting, is it? It's not. But when you look at a woman and say, I choose you.
Oh,
there you go, baby. There's like, that's right. But see, because you're having this, and it's like, because you walk up to a man and you say, honey, I choose you. He goes, of course you do. I choose myself. Do you see his hand?
Yes.
But see, that's the thing. Stop talking to a male like he's a female. And guys, stop talking to females like they're guys. They're not us and we're not them. And that just drives me nuts because I'm sitting there going, the divorce rate's going through crazy. So then I start just understand the basic of biology and hormones. And everything I taught you right now can be looked at in a book. So remember, and I'm not saying my book, I'm saying I looked at the female hormones and how they're done. And understand that women and men are so different just on their biology of their hormones and how it affects them physically and mentally. And that's where my clinics went from one little small office in Green Bay to an international company and offices all over, including here in Phoenix, is I said, you know something, ladies, we need to test your hormones properly. Because you know what's really funny? All the stuff I just taught you is if things are normal. Ladies, the thing about this, if your hormones are off, man, life gets bad daily. It does. For everything from fatigue to mental exhaustion to how you see the world to everything. And remember, my wife being so sick, her having endometriosis was a very estrogens problem, but the doctors only looked at a couple, so their view of the female body is dramatically incomplete. Hey everyone, for unedited, full-length, unapologetic content, go to my website, drpatrickflynn.com. Hit the subscribe button to join our community for more amazing content like this every day.